Today we're going to read a story called About Earth by Pauline Cartwright.
Earth. Hi, I'm Zudu, your tour guide for Earth. We're about to enter Earth's solar system. Are you ready for a quick spin around Earth? Just don't let the humans see you. I'm here to answer all your questions about Earth. Ask away. Earth is the third planet from the Sun. Earth is the only planet that humans know about that has liquid water on it. Earth's solar system includes the Sun and everything that travels around it. Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Earth's gravity. What is gravity? Gravity surrounds Earth. It is a strong force pulling all objects toward the middle of Earth. Without gravity, everything would float away from Earth. Gravity keeps all people on Earth. Earth's moon also has gravity, but its gravity is not as strong as Earth's gravity. That's why astronauts on the moon moved with big, floaty steps. Gravity is even linked to the movements of the sea, and that's where we are headed next.
All right, so our next chapter we'll read will be Water on Earth. But right now I want us to look at the few pages that we just read here, pages 2 through 5. And I want us to focus our eyes on the text features that we see in the story. So one of the first text features that I see here is I see that we have the table of contents here, and that's telling us the title of the chapter and then what page we can find it on. The title of the chapter is going to tell us the main idea or what that chapter is mostly going to be about. So that is an awesome text feature. So pay attention to those. We also have another text feature here, which is the headings or the chapter names. So this chapter name is Earth. It also could be considered the heading. And we're going to be learning mostly about Earth here in this for this chapter. I also want us to notice that there's different colors. So this is this here is white. And there's one word that looks a little bit different than the rest, and that is liquid. And that would be a bold white. It's a little bit bigger, it's kind of more bold. So that those words like that we need to pay attention to as well. Those are bolded words, which are going to be our vocabulary words, and they're special important words that we need to pay attention to. I also wanted us to look here at the yellow text. This would be a caption, and it's telling you about the picture. And so we have this picture here, or a diagram of the solar system, and the author is giving us information to use to help us understand the solar system and what it looks like. Um, and so we have our labels here, labeling of the planets, and then we have the planets in the row, and then the sun, and then we also have the caption that is telling us about the picture, the diagram here as well. So again, here we are here again. Here's another heading. Earth's gravity. And then this is what is gravity. That's a subheading, helping us know what the next paragraph is going to be about. And again, we have another caption here as well. This is telling us what this picture is mostly about. I want to see if you can find anything on here that may help us um, understand some of the text features or some of the features that are shown in this text, how the author is helping us to understand the text better. So I want you to think for about 30 seconds and see if you can find what I find. So I see here, I'm looking here and I don't see a heading or a subheading. And I don't see any bold words here. So this is just the author here. I don't see any yellow here either. So I'm guessing there's not a caption. But what I do see here is on this page, I see a little speech bubble. And that's a fun way of the author that is the author's giving us some information and is having him say it in a speech bubble. So he's still giving us information. It's still important to read these speech bubbles because this is where you may find some information that's you think that it might be hidden or is not worth looking at, but it actually is because it is just a fun way of giving us more information. So it says gravity is even linked to movements of the sea, and that's where we're headed next. So this here is talking more, even more about gravity and how it's linked to the sea. And we're going to continue learning about the sea in the next chapter. So here we have water on Earth and how much water is on Earth here. And then I also see here, which we didn't get to, but here is just for looking forward, there is a caption. So I want your eyes to be looking for that here. All right, so one of the things I want us to do is I want us to think about what are some facts the Earth, what are some facts about Earth? Um, sorry, let me try it again. What facts about Earth are described in this text? So we're looking for some facts about Earth here. Look, a fact can be anything that you're learning about Earth, something that is um, true about Earth. The first thing I see here for a fact, and I'm sure there's many other facts, I see the fact that it's the third planet from the sun. That is a fact that is true. So that's something we can learn about the Earth that is true. Um, it's the only planet that humans know about that has liquid on it, right? Liquid water on it. It just says gravity surrounds. There's another fact about gravity surrounds Earth. Gravity keeps all people on Earth. There's so many facts here about Earth. And another fact is um, Earth's moon also has gravity, but its gravity is not as strong as the Earth's gravity. Okay. So that's something else that is another fact that we have here, something that we know is true. And then I want us to look at, go back, I'm going to go back to page 3 here. And I want us to look, let's we're on page 3. I want us to look at this here, the illustration of the solar system on page 3. So I'm going to circle it for us so we can have our eyes go there. So go ahead and have your eyes go there. And I did include the caption because that caption is describing this picture to help us understand the illustration. So I want you to think, how does the illustration of the solar system on page 3 help you better understand the text? How is that picture, that illustration, helping you understand the text? So if you look up here and it says Earth is the third planet from the sun, what does that actually mean? Well, now we know that Earth is here. And now we can see that here is the sun. And we know one, two, three, that the Earth is the third planet from the sun. And so this helps us to understand what it looks like, that it's actually the third away from the sun. And it's closer to the sun than Neptune is, right? Um, Little fun fact that when I was in school, we had a planet called Pluto. That is no longer a planet anymore. So that's something that is taken out. Um, but when I was little, we always had a planet named Pluto, but we learned that that is no longer actually a planet. So that's why it ends with Neptune here. Um, but it's kind of cool to like look at this and see this illustration to really understand what it means that that Earth is the third planet from the sun. What does the illustration on page 3 tell you about Earth that is not in the text? Looking at this illustration again on page 3, what does this tell you about Earth that's not in the text? And the text would be up in the text would be here. The white is the text. Okay. So what would what is here that the text is not telling you? Well, first off, it's telling us that there's 8 planets, right? And we're looking to see, and it's also telling us, like, oh, look, Saturn has rings around it, right? Jupiter is bigger than Earth. And the first 4 planets are small, and the last 4 planets are bigger. So there's just some things that this illustration is telling us that the text is not telling us that we can learn from this illustration. I want us to focus our attention on page 5. What details about Earth's gravity does the author include on page 5? And are these details in the words or in the pictures? So what details about Earth's gravity does the author include on page 5? Are these details in the words or in the pictures? So I would say they're actually in both. So it says Earth's moon also has gravity, but its gravity is not as strong as Earth's gravity. Okay, so that's a detail telling us about Earth, about the gravity there. And then the next text says that's why astronauts on the moon moved with big floaty steps. And then this picture is helping us to understand an astronaut on the moon. And we can just kind of visualize in our head, which is making a picture in our head, visualizing in our head what the astronaut looks like. as they're, kind of jumping and floating around. And that's helping us to understand that we don't jump around and float around like that when we're on Earth. So, but they do, but the astronaut does come back down onto the moon, even though he is kind of floaty. So it is, mm, the gravity isn't as strong as it is on Earth. And so, but we know that he just doesn't float all over the place like you would do when you're in a spaceship. And this picture is just helping us understand and helping us to visualize what they're talking about. All right, I can't wait to dive deep with you into the next few chapters here. We're going to do that here soon. I hope that this has helped, and we're going to continue working on looking at text features. And I will talk to you soon.